Hi everyone, this is Tevi live from room 114. I just came from a training on a lockdown procedure which started to make everybody paranoid, and it started to remind me of the hysteria that happens during the Cold War. So I just thought I would share that with you, and let's go right into your guided notes. This will be the early Cold War. This is part 3 of all your screencasts so far, and it's entitled Containing Communism. So I open up with this picture of Stalin and the title that Stalin causes problems in Germany. So I'd like you guys to think back to the Yalta Conference in Potsdam, and what are some of the issues that you predict will stem from those conferences? And what does Stalin really want with Germany? What is the main issue here? So think about Yalta and Potsdam and the reparations. All right, so that was my long-winded introduction. All right, guys, I'm back on track. The long telegram, number 1. So pictured here, guys, is George Kennan. The State Department asked him, he's an important diplomat, so just fill out his name, George Kennan there. They wanted him to explain Soviet refusal to cooperate. He responded with this historic long telegram, concluding that it was impossible for any permanent solution because of Soviet fear of the West, which was backed by Lenin and Stalin. And this also stemmed from Russian sense of insecurity. So it really locked us into a historic battle, against capitalism. So fill that in, guys, under number 1. So, guys, Kennan proposed a policy, and fill this in as a quote from Kennan, not Lenin, of long-term, patient but firm, vigilant containment of Russian expansive tendencies. So guys, that's long-term, patient but firm, vigilant containment of Russian expansive tendencies. The theory was that if the U.S. could keep the Soviets from expanding, eventually the Soviet system would break down. And so let's go on to number 2, guys. There'll be a series of crises. So the first one is in Iran, and I want you guys to fill out under number 2 that during World War II, the U.S. had put troops in southern Iran, while the Soviet troops had occupied northern Iran. And I just found a typo on your guided notes, so make sure it's not Iraq. Guys, we are in Iran. And so this was done by the Soviets, guys, in order to just fill out to secure a supply line from the Persian Gulf. And so it's all about the oil. After the war, guys, the Soviets didn't withdraw as promised, and Stalin demanded access to Iran's oil. He also helped local communists in northern Iran establish separate governments from the state. So this really alarmed U.S. officials, and the Secretary of State sent Stalin a strong message demanding that they withdraw from Iran. So along with the message is also the muscle. He also sent, guys, the USS Missouri, which is a famous battleship here, pictured here, sent to eastern Mediterranean. So guys, the Soviets withdrew. They had been promised a share in future oil company shares, which was later rejected by the Iranian parliament. So pictured here is the Missouri. We're starting to send our battleships to show the Soviets that we mean business. And again, guys, make sure you know the geography of the Persian Gulf. Noted here is Iran, and think about the importance of securing supply lines here and all the way up through here to the Mediterranean. So guys, next crisis is in Turkey. So I'm on number 3. Stalin then turned to Turkey to secure a strategic route from the Soviet Black Sea, noted here in the map, to ports, guys, to the Mediterranean, noted down here. And it's known as the Strait of Dardanelles. So guys, the strait is this narrow passageway, and please fill in, guys, I spelled it for you on this map, the Dardanelles. Continue with number 3, guys. Stalin, he demanded joint control of Turkey. Presidential advisor Dean Acheson, guys, called for Truman to make a show of force to find out, here's his quote, whether the Russians are bent on world conquest. He sent a new aircraft carrier. Guys, this one is pictured here. It's called the Franklin D. Roosevelt to join the Missouri in protecting Turkey and the Eastern Mediterranean. So again, guys, a pattern here of the Soviets wanting access to trade, especially for oil, and us, showing a sense of force and strength. All right, guys, number 4, I just have kind of a short introduction to a future crisis. So it's in Greece, number 4, August of 46. Britain tries to help the Greeks fight communist guerrillas. They're pictured here in this neat black and white photo against the Greek government. But guys, just put this down that it strained the British economy, for they were already weakened from World War II. And put down it only lasted 6 months. And then by February of 1947, they asked the U.S. for help. So again, guys, the U.S. is trying to stop the spread of communism here now in Greece. All right, guys, I'm on to number 5, the second page, the Truman Doctrine. This is really important. So, guys, this is March 12th of 47. Truman speaks before Congress asking for, put down, $400 million, and it's to fight communist aggression in Greece and Turkey. He outlines this policy later known as the Truman Doctrine, stating his long-term goal of fighting the spread of communism worldwide. And I put down the quote, guys. I want you to recognize it's from him. To aid free peoples who are resisting attempted subjugation by armed minorities or by outside pressures. So just note that that is from Truman, and it becomes our policy for quite a long time. Let's finish up with the Marshall Plan, guys, number 6. So, guys, put down post-war Western Europe was an economic ruin and political chaos, worsened by the harsh winter of 1946. So Secretary of State, we go on to Marshall Plan. Secretary of State, guys, George Marshall proposes the European Recovery Program in June of 47. And, guys, put down that he gave European nations aid to rebuild their economies. And the famous quote, guys, the Truman Doctrine and the Marshall Plan were called, quote, two halves of the same walnut. So fill in that quote, guys, meaning both were necessary for containment. He did offer this aid to the Soviet Union and satellite nations, but put down, guys, that they turned it down in favor of their own economic program. This further separated Europe, guys, into competing regions. Europe was sent billions of dollars for the Marshall Plan, and the Soviet Union did not receive any. All right, guys, I promise under 8 minutes, so I'm sorry. Let me just fill out one last thing. Guys, the Marshall Plan down there, that last little thing under number 6, sent billions of dollars, just put down in the form of supplies, machinery, and food, all to Western Europe to try to weaken the appeal of communism and open new markets for trade. So the Marshall Plan obviously helped us as well. This is Tevi, guys, signing off, and I will see you all tomorrow.